What is going on, Adventure Nation? In a recent poll we asked in our community tab, should campground access be determined based on the size of recreational vehicles? And we got some pretty interesting responses. Now we've got a hurricane heading our way. The hurricane is coming! Hurry, get the video done! Too much? Probably. And I know this could turn into a heated debate, so we need to get started. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, let's take a look at the responses. All right, we had 71 people vote in this survey, and I hope that we can do more of these and bump that up so we get a better cross-section of our viewers. But this particular one, pretty good cross-section, 71 people. All right, so in this survey, we asked, should campground access be determined by the size of recreational vehicles? 71 people voted, and 51% said equal access. All campgrounds should accommodate RVs of all sizes. 14% said campgrounds should separate sections based on the size of RV. 8% said size restrictions, and campgrounds should have restrictions of too big. 27% said priority pricing. So campgrounds should have tiered pricing based on the RV size. Now, my guess would be that 51% that said that equal access for all sizes are probably people driving 45-foot fifth wheels and giant diesel pushers. And the 27% that said there's should be priority pricing are van people and Class B owners. So I can't wait to see the comment section lighting up like a Christmas tree after this. So let's get into this. Now, please keep it civil, folks. If you act like an in the comments, you'll be treated as such and shunned by the community. Maybe not the community, but you'll be shunned by me at least. Okay, picture this, right? You pull into Fort Wilderness Campground with your family. You've got an 18-foot weekend trailer and your Ford F-150 extended cab. You know, you got a couple of kids, so you got to have space for the kids. Now, I'm going to pick on Fort Wilderness because I know there are some very tight spots in there in some of the loops, and it's also my favorite campground. So you pull into your loop, and you easily back in and set up and you're ready to camp because you're 18 feet. Not that big of a rig. Your entire rig fits into the spot and you don't take up any more space. Truck, trailer, everything. Everything fits in there, right? Now, a few minutes later, a giant 45-foot fifth wheel squeezes through the loop, barely making it around the corner because a 45-foot diesel pusher in the corner and their tow vehicle is out on the road and it's an F-250 and it's somewhat blocking the road. So they take 30 minutes to get into their spot next to you, and once they're parked, their truck's sticking out on the road, and every time you try to go somewhere, or anyone else drives through for a matter, it's a hassle. They're blocking space. Now, the first thing I'm gonna hear is that does not happen. And I will say that you've probably never stayed at Fort Wilderness or maybe a similar RV park that isn't really designed for today's massive rigs. I also assume that you're probably one of those people with a massive 40-foot rig and you're one of the ones that'll say all sizes should be treated equally, right? So we are all using the same utilities, right? That's what people are going to say as well. I don't necessarily believe that's true, and we'll look at that here in just a second. But let's take a look at the way the boat industry does it and has been doing it for a long time. If you look at the boat industry, they've been charging dock fees by the foot for a long time. Whether it's yearly dock fees or overnight fees, it's all by the foot. Let's say a marina, like one of the ones that I have in this example here in Miami, they charge $5 a foot per night for their dock fee. If you pull into the marina for the night and dock with your 29-foot Ranger tug, it's going to be around a $400,000 boat, still not cheap. You're going to pay $145 a night. And if you pull into that same marina and stay for the night with a 75-foot Viking yacht, you know, worth $5 million, you're going to pay $375 for that same night. Now, I would think that the Viking yacht is going to have way more electronics on it than the Ranger tug, and although not total justification for the price difference, the Viking owner is probably not going to sweat an extra $230 a night when they're in a $5 million boat. Now, one of the major differences between boats and RVs is that dock space is linear and an RV space is not. Let's go back and take a look at the RV example. The family has an RV that's 18 foot and a tow vehicle, let's say 22 feet, right? For a total of 40 feet. Fort Wilderness is expensive, so they charge $2.50 a night per foot. That's $100 a night. Yes, I know it's way more than that to stay at Fort Wilderness. Cool your jets and stay with me. Now, we are in our RV, our Class A, we're 54 feet from nose to tail while we're towing on the tow dolly. So we would pay $135 for that same night. Now, how much for a 45-foot fifth wheel being towed by, let's say, an F-350 extended cab? Okay, the rig's 45 feet. The tow vehicle is around 24 feet, but let's say 10 foot goes underneath the nose of the trailer. And I know I'm gonna have people messaging me telling me this is wrong, but Paul, it's actually 9.5 feet or 10.5 feet, 11.2, 13. I don't care. This is just an example, so bear with me, folks. All right, this is just an estimate. Okay, so 45 plus 24 is 69. Minus 10.5 for overhang equals 67.5. We'll round that to 68 for the maths, and we get $175 for the night. So to recap, little towboat, doesn't stick out on the street, barely has 20 amp service, draws a little electricity, pays 100 bucks. Our 34-foot Class A motorhome with towed vehicle that also doesn't stick out on the street, has 30 amp service and draws more power than them, but I could argue that it doesn't because of batteries and solar, but it doesn't matter for this example, so we pay $135 a night. And the 45-foot fifth wheel tow vehicle sticks out past their space, takes up more room in the road, has 50 amp service with a residential fridge, 6 TVs, 3 ACs, and a partridge in a pear tree, would pay $170. Now, I can hear people saying that RV parks like Fort Wilderness should build spaces to accommodate the larger, more modern rigs, and I somewhat agree, but bigger infrastructure, like longer, wider sites, 50 amp service, built for heavier vehicles, would cost more to build, so should they do that without trying to absorb the higher cost of doing so and charge accordingly? Should RV parks adopt a more marina-type pay scale? It's just a little food for thought. We're gonna do more of these polls and responses, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel, click the little notifications bell so you get a little dinger each and every time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.